The Clippers are struggling. The Clippers with James Harden is 0-4, 0-5 right now. Actually, as we're recording this, they're 0-4, but they play the Nuggets tonight. So I'm going to assume they're 0-5. And when you acquire somebody like James Harden, you start off 0-5 or 0-4, you have to someone has to cast the blame. Someone has to be like, why are they struggling, right? And I talked about this when the trade happened, and people called me crazy. This was going to affect Russell Westbrook the most. And at this point of their careers, James Harden and Russell Westbrook are not compatible being on the same floor as each other. And it's not because they're not good. You know what it is? This trade is, how do I express it? The word that you heard a lot with this trade was sacrifice. And how important it was and how important it was going to be moving forward with James Harden on the team now. How important the word sacrifice was for this Clippers team. And it's true. Sacrifice is the name of the game. When you have a super team, when you have the title of a super team, the one thing that does not get made public, or not public, the one thing that isn't talked about or isn't glamorized is sacrifice. I always, even though people say I go back to it a lot, but that is the most recent success of a super team is the Golden State Warriors. One thing that isn't talked about as much is the fact that Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala, all their big names had to sacrifice. Because if it didn't, there's a reason why when people talk about super teams and people talk about stars coming together, there's a reason why they say that there's one ball, because a lot of players aren't used to the sacrifice. We're going to talk about Jordan Poole in a second. Players aren't used to the sacrifice. And the word sacrifice sounds good. The word sacrifice sounds honorable. It sounds like you know what it takes and you are going to do whatever it takes to win. That's what the word sacrifice sounds like. But what does it look like? And are you really up for that challenge? Because it's a challenge to sacrifice. Are you really up for that? Do you know what sacrifice really is? We learn that a lot in situations like this. Do you know what sacrifice is? Because this sounds good, but do you know what it is? And as we've seen, at least in 5 games, there has not been much sacrifice. I'll say it like this. A lot of people want to blame James Harden all for the team looking as bad as it looked when they acquired him. And what you're seeing is, there's a couple things you're seeing, actually. You're seeing people that are scared to step on each other's toes. James Harden's scared to mess up what's going on. Russell Westbrook's trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do and how he's going to fit. Paul George is kind of taking a back seat to try to help integrate or try to help James Harden acclimate with the team. Kawhi Leonard taking a back seat. But the issue with that is you're asking players that aren't used to taking back seats. So now you have Paul George, who can't shoot to save his life right now, as well as Kawhi Leonard. And James Harden can't do this, can't shoot to save his life either right now, and he holds the ball a lot. And then you have Russell Westbrook being Russell Westbrook. What does sacrifice look like for this team? So it has already been proven that James Harden and Russell Westbrook could not play on the same floor, at least for extended periods of time. Not because they're not good players, but because of their faults more than their strengths. James Harden, one of his biggest faults, and it's been like this his entire career, is he is not a good defender. And then you have Russell Westbrook, who isn't a good defender either, but at least he tries. So now you have two players that aren't good defenders on the team or on the floor at the same time. Now you have, and then you're going up against bigger teams and you're sliding. Now Mason Plumlee being out was huge, but you're sliding Kawhi down to the 4. While he has a speed advantage, he has a size disadvantage. And you're now Paul George, who was getting a healthy dose of getting guards on him. Now you have forwards. So now you have someone like a LeBron James, someone like a Kevin Durant, someone like a Zion Williamson, someone like a Jason Tatum, someone like an Andrew Wiggins. A bigger frame is now on you. So one of the biggest reasons why they can't shoot right now is because they're just getting worn down. Which is, what does sacrifice look like? I would say James Harden has to come off the bench. Because the Clippers looked a lot better with a Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook lineup. And, of course, you incorporate James Harden into it. Another thing that I'm noticing, shouts out to the Gilbert Arenas podcast because he pointed out as well. But one thing that I'm noticing, positions were made, right? Positions in basketball was made so a novice can follow the game. That's the saying. So it helps you better understand the game if you put positions on a player. So if you look at a Steph Curry, you look at a Chris Paul, you look at a Kyrie and say that is a point guard. You look at a Klay Thompson, you look at a James Harden, you look at a Jaylen Brown, you say that is a shooting guard. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, that is a small forward. Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, that is a power forward. And then, of course, you have Rudy Gobert and Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic as a center. It helps people to understand the game much better. But it also means something. And what I mean by that is, another reason why this hasn't worked is because, and I'm solely looking at James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they have not accepted their titles. Meaning, somebody, and again, shouts out to the Gilbert Arenas podcast, he said it very eloquently, and he laid it out much better than I'm probably going to lay it out. One of them has to, both of them, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, are trying to be the point guards. Both of them are trying to create offense. Both of them are trying to take the ball up the court. Both of them are trying to lead the charge. Well, what that means is it leaves a position vacant. And let me explain. It leaves the shooting guard position vacant. Meaning somebody has to take the role of the shooting guard. Let me talk about a better team. Let's talk about the Boston Celtics. With Jrue Holiday coming in, it seemed one of the biggest reasons why they're rolling is because they've accepted their positions. Now, I'm not saying that Jaylen Brown can't or doesn't take the ball up the court from time to time, but the primary point guard is Jrue Holiday. And as we've seen this year, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have taken a step back as far as initiating the offense. They still do, but not as much as they've used to because they have a definitive point guard in Jrue Holiday. And Jaylen Brown has taken more of a shooting guard approach, meaning he's more of a catch and shoot player now, or I don't need to, break down or bing, 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 bing somebody. Like if I don't have a shot or if I don't have a lane, just kick it out. When James Harden touches the ball, he still has that point guard mentality. As far as let me get the ball and let me create something for somebody else. Or let me create something for the offense. Well, so does Russell Westbrook. Meaning they do not have a player that is just sole mindset is shoot. Now, you don't want it to be Russell Westbrook because he has, for his entire career, he has not been able to shoot. But James Harden hasn't accepted the role that you are not. Either you're going to come off the bench, or if you're going to start James Harden, Russell Westbrook, James Harden has to be the de facto point shooting guard. You don't need the ball in your hands as much to be effective, especially seeing as though you're the one that can shoot. This trade, at least for right now, because I think that it can get turned around. I don't know if it will. It could. But the only way that it's going to get turned around is if you if the word sacrifice isn't the only thing that's getting tossed around here. That is a crazy sentence. Yo. Oh, that's crazy. Pause, man. Damn, that's a crazy sentence. My fault, y'all. Damn. No, but what I mean is you actually sacrifice instead of just saying it. Because you're going to look up, and this is the fear and this is the danger of building a super team or a team just full of talent. Because not all the time, there's been instances where the talent don't blend, don't mix. And then you get, at least for right now, what we're seeing with this Clippers team. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.